Okay. N7 SOQ.
Copy you, Charlie Mike 5, N7 SOQ, KG7 VDV.
Yes, you're Charlie Mike 5 too. Oh, this is a good one.
KG7 GKQ. Yeah, more like Charlie Mike 3.5, Charlie Mike 4, but I'm reading you. I'm not hearing you on the Zoom call, though. Are you reading me, Charlie? Are you reading Charles at all? Come back.
I just heard MDK clear. Okay, I heard Charles come on, and also I'm hearing Michelle. She's been trying to get through.
Copy that. MJK, please come back.
W8MJK, can you read me?
Copy Charlie Mike 5 from Columbia City, KG7 VDV.
Well, I did hear MJK say she was clearing.
I did momentarily get a transmission from MJK. MJK, could you come back one more time? And SOQ, I'd like you to monitor specifically for that. I'm not clear that you guys have a clear connection to each other. Over. I read you Charlie Mike 4, GKQ. On the Zoom call, GKQ is reporting that they are not hearing me at all. So SOQ and or MJK, could you come back that you are reading me, KG7 VDV?
KJ7 DVG, I am reading, N7SOQ is reading you about a Charlie Mike 5.
Copy SOQ. Did I lose you, MJK? If you are replying, I am not reading you, and I am not sure why, because I was pretty sure that I read you clearly just a moment before. KG7 VDV monitoring. Alright, all MSD stations, I am recommending that at this time we return to our primary channel, the CH9A signal at 444.375.
This is N7SOQ moving to 444.375.
Copy SOQ, QSY 444.375. KJ7, VDV clear. evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. The crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. So I'll pause now in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact on the 08 machine before the net gets fully underway. Again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. No traffic again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So far, checked into our net this evening is Bert, N7CS, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM, and I see that KF7UHK, Jessica, has just checked in. Is anybody else that wishes to check in?
Oh, good evening, Dave. This is James, WW7ATS.
WU7M, we got you down. Thanks for checking in. Is anybody else who would like to check into the net this evening for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net? None. Well, let's go up to the top of the list to Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK. I just walked in from the kitchen. I was cooking some really good sausages and some onions. There's some bacon in there, and yeah, it's really good. It's really pretty tasty. Yeah, I can see. I don't have enough for yours, Dave. Sorry. Otherwise, I'd send one over on the Zoom line here. Let's see. My weather guesser says it's going to be sunny, and we'll see how that turns out, because I hear rain's coming, and that's always good. That's always good in our northwest. We need some more rain. Let's see, what else is going on? Well, not a whole lot, so I'm going to pass it on over. This is Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, thanks for that, Jessica. Let's go to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. I was actually able to attend on Wednesday today since my Wednesday night work meeting got bumped to tomorrow. So just checking in to see how things are going. It's interesting if you may remember on the club website, there's like an info at, I forget what it is, WW7ATS.net or something, email address on there, where people, if they have any questions, can send it, and I have it set up to come to me. And this past week, I actually got 2 emails to that list. It's the first time ever, but 2 came in the same week. One was from the Portland Club, and that I sent the email about earlier in the week, and quite a few of the club members here were able to pop in on that Portland Zoom call on Monday, so that was pretty fun. I saw Richard, Wade, Jessica. I think I'm missing another person or two that also joined. But that was fun. The Portland group has people from all over the country and the world that come in. It was a pretty small group, but they had people from Oregon, Idaho, Australia even hop on their net. So we invited each other to attend each respective Zoom meeting. So maybe we'll see them pop in every now and then. And then the other email I got was from another local ham in Bellevue who happened to overhear our net the other day and was interested in ATV, so I sent him some information about it. So maybe we'll hear from Don, I think it was Don Davis one of these days. But anyway, that's it for now. This is Bert and Rachel, N7CS. Back to that.
N7CS. Well, let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, well, I'll start off with a request to someone, I heard James check in. I don't know if he's able to switch us over to the ground stream, or maybe he did, and it's not working. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything on YouTube that, or maybe I'm on the wrong news. Oh no, I'm live. Wade, I don't know. Are you able to do the switch? Well, whatever. Okay, so, well, I see him, maybe he might need some help in chat. I don't know. I'll move things along here, and I'll have more to say in the next round. With that, KD7ZYM, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. Let's go on to Wade, W7ITL, see how the big weekend went for him.
W7ITL, just give me a second on the switch. Yeah, Richard, to answer your question, I'm seeing you on the repeater output, so you're making it through. So might be something wrong with YouTube, maybe too much delay. Oh, looks like James might be listening, since the repeater just switched over. So yeah, the weekend went really well, and I was able to do the race, the Spartan race, and yeah, it was really fun. On the next round, I will share some pictures and maybe even share some stories about it. So with that said, I will return the net back to Dave, and this is W7ITL.
W7ITL, let's go on to James, WU7N.
Okay, well, I'll put out a picture of our shack because I'm having some real computer challenges here. Well, anyway, thank you to Bert for managing the mailbox. That's important to respond. It amazes me the number of dead websites that are out there. So thank you very much for doing that. I'm sorry I couldn't meet the meeting, but wow, that's amazing. People all the way from Australia coming in, so that's great news. And Richard, I saw you just fine on the outputs. It looks like there's a little wind coming in because I got that fuzziness coming and going with nothing changing here that usually is indicative of some strong winds up on the mountaintop. And I look forward to seeing pictures of the Ironman triathlon, or whatever it was called. That looks interesting. So I have a couple more questions for the group, but let me go ahead and turn it back to net control for now. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
WU7N, thanks for that, James. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. Well, I got 56 degrees here, partly cloudy, and no rain, dry as can be here in Lake City. Nothing. There was a little spitting that happened last night around 6 o'clock to about 6:15, and then it all dried up, so I don't know what's happening there. Today, I became a Costco shopper and went out and did that, and some domestic chores at home this afternoon. Well, my big item for the day was I decided to take some profit sharing from some accounts I had with Fidelity Magellan. And they sent me a sizable check that I took to Bank of America and deposited that in my savings. Then I got an email this morning that says the bank is holding my check because they don't believe that Fidelity has enough funds to pay the check. So they're going to wait till it clears. But they hope that it didn't inconvenience me for waiting. I thought that was kind of impressive. We've got $1 billion firm that has questions about their checks. Go figure. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go back up to the top to Jessica, KF7, UHK.
KF7 UHK, Jessica over here in Everett. Yeah, the Portland Zoom meeting, that was a lot of fun to meet other people, and I realize I'm really quiet when I don't know other people until someone says something to me. It's like then I'll turn on my Spark and say something. But it was really fun. It was fun to meet other people on Zoom, and from a whole different society society I live in, I guess, or something. Ironman triathlon, that sounds like a lot of fun. I think I do the SOFA triathlon, so there you go. Let's lose the SOFA and and some treats and something to drink and a TV set, so there you go. So that's very impressive, though. Let's see, Sylvia is just about to graduate her Southern New Hampshire University classes, which will give her a Bachelor of Arts degree in digital photography. And so I'm urging her to take the next set of classes that will put her into a master's. And then if she does that again, she could become a doctor of digital photography. And I think we want that so that people will have to call her Dr. Phipps. I think that would be just a hoot. So, but she's been working really hard at this. It's been tough on her. She's aged a lot since she started this, because some nights she's up till like 4 in the morning. So it's 10 minutes after the hour. I'm going to pass it back. I see Ron showed up. This is Jessica, KF7, UHK.
KF7, UHK, and Annette acknowledges Ron, KD7, QKU, arrived, and Ron, what say you?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Can't hear you, Ron. 792.
Technical difficulties takes us back just a little bit, and it's time for an ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's try Ron again. KD7 QKU. Ron was on for about 30 seconds and then it went out. I don't know, maybe he's got a tone quality problem with his radio. In the meantime, let's go on down to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, let's see. I'm still trying to check out the stream, but I don't know. At least on my computer, it seems to be several minutes behind. I see like Richard talking on his radio, which was like 6 or 7 minutes ago. So I don't know what is up. I sent an email to Rob to see if maybe he knows if there's been any networking changes done up at the site in the past few weeks or anything. But let's see what else is going on today. Oh, now I see Wade on the stream. So I don't know what's going on there. But oh yeah, there was a space launch today. I don't know if any of you watched it, but the Inspiration 4 mission launched today. 4 people, none of them astronauts, they're all civilians. They are now in space. And at least the part I watched, everything looked like it went successfully. So I hope they're up there safe and sound. They'll be up there for about 3 days and then come back. They are not going to the space station. They're just going to be zipping around in orbit. Anyway, that's probably it for now. This is Burton Marysville, N7CS, back to net.
N7CS, let's go to Richard, J7ITX.
Okay, well, my question about the streaming and the switching has been confirmed that the latency that Bert and I were discussing prior to the net is tremendously huge right now. Like you said, Bert, about 5 or 6 minutes out. So whatever. If those of you who are watching on RF, then good on you guys. Anyway, yeah, I visited the Portland ETV Zoom meeting as well. It was pretty interesting. That being said, I think Jessica and Bert have covered up pretty good. And hopefully Ron will be. I know you've been talking about how it's just a second, or not a second, an inch or two that makes a difference. And yeah, no, I know how that goes when you're kind of with a mag mount and mobile situation. So anyway, golly, I'm batching it again. The YL is babysitting, cat sitting my daughter's cat up on First Hill while she is swimming with the turtles in Hawaii. So that's all pretty fun for her and interesting for Debbie. And then Debbie will be manning the gates at the, believe it or not, the boat show over on South Lake Union. And she's going to be doing that till Sunday, and then I'll go pick her up and bring her home. So, wow, I got 4 nights with the cat and the dog. KD7ZYM, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's go to W7ITL.
This is W7ITL. Let's see if I can be on RF yet. I do have some pictures I wanted to try to show. Let's see if I can show those. Let's see if I can output it to the right channel. Technical difficulties here. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? W7ITL, can anybody hear me?
W7ITL was there.
All right, well, here we go. Let's see if I can do this and talk at the same time. Just need to get back to my window. So this is me. Oh, wow, it's really big. So yeah, there's me after rolling on the ground, doing the barbed wire crawl. Let's see if I can get to. Let's go to. See if I can show you some more pictures. Out there's me. It's not going now. Let's see if I can make this. That's all I think I got for this round, guys. We'll see if I can figure out how to make it a little bigger so you guys can see the whole pictures. W7ITL back to net.
W7ITL, wait, thanks with that. Let's move on to James, WU7N.
Well, technical difficulties seem to be the order of business tonight. I've got a trusty old Studio XPS laptop here that's taken 3 reboots and it's still not quite up yet. And just earlier today, I just put in a little order with Walmart. And the only thing I see is that you use a virtual private network, which seems to be screwing up a lot of sites. Costco.com just can't handle a VPN. And the only thing I can see is that must be what happened, because I put in my 2 Mickey Mouse items in my order, and it said it would be delivered by this day. And then quite a bit of time later, I get another email that says, sorry, our fraud detection thing says your order is all messed up or something, so sorry, we canceled everything. So, Dave, on your check there, I think what they're dealing with is, I think it was Bank of America. There were some cashier's checks going by. This was just pre-COVID going around that were so good you could walk into a Bank of America branch, hand them to the manager, and they couldn't tell you whether it was authentic or not. That's how good they were for counterfeits. So I think that's what they're dealing with. I just have to ask you, too, when you came in, if the check was for any kind of amount at all, I'm just kind of curious to know, did they ask you 1,001 questions about it? Because the last time I came into, I think, well, I don't remember the institution, but it was a couple years back, and I was just itching to say, well, this Nigerian general really came through, but no, I didn't, because I wanted to take the check and put it in my account. But I
don't know what the magical threshold is, but if it's any significant amount, if you just walk in with a paper check, and the last time I tried to do that, which sadly was quite a while ago, wow, did I ever get a lot of questions about it. Well, anyway, it looks like I've at least got up to the point of a Windows blue screen here, so I guess I will get back to that. Thank you very much for the pictures. I can't remember what the event was called. It wasn't an Ironman. It was something else. But maybe you could refresh my memory on what the athletic event you participated in was called, because I don't have those notes in front of me. So anyway, this is James, WW7ATS, in Northeast Bellevue with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Take it away, Dave.
WW7M, James, thanks for that. This is Dave again, KD7CYM. Yeah, my check from Fidelity was only for 70K, so, it was a small amount that I'm sure that Bank America could handle, and they'd be that amount of money on an official check from Fidelity. But however, like you say, they might have been decided to put it on hold since it was, more than $10, whatever their minimum is for holding a check. So it's kind of surprising. Anyway, that's about it, and still no rain. I'm still waiting for the trickles to come, and I understand Friday we're going to have quite a bit. I noticed for Lee and 7TC in Port Angeles, the weather forecast said they'd have up to 2 inches, so he's really going to see a lot of rain. I think we only saw about a quarter inch coming to Seattle, so we'll have to see how that works out. Again, this is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU, and see if we can make contact.
Okay, this is Ron, KD7QKU. Standing right here.
A lot of QRM, but we can almost make it out.
Okay, well let me go play with the antenna.
I think a J-pole might be better. This thing had multi-band antenna with a mag mount on it. Might be something to explore. Well, let's go on to Jessica, KS7UHK.
KS7UHK, I think Washington State only gets about, I think I read somewhere like 24 inches per year. And you think about that, and you think about some of these places down there in the down south that get like 10 inches in a 24-hour period, you just kind of go, wow, that's a lot of water. That's a lot of rain. My weather guessers turned from a sun to a sun with clouds, so partly cloudy or partly sunny. So that's how we changed in the last five minutes or so. And I'm kind of I wish I'd seen it pop on, but there it is. Let's see, do I have anything written down? I have nothing else written down. So I'm just going to say, boy, it's 23 minutes after there. I'm going to pass it right back to Jessica, KS7UHK.
KS7UHK, and again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, and I think I'm also running out of things to say, and I keep thinking of things, and then when you call me, it all goes away. So I'm trying to remember what I just thought. The Portland guys, they said the ATV repeater they have there it does FM ATV, or FM TV. So they said they had a lot better experience with that than the AM TV that we use. And then the guy who was from Australia said the local ATV repeater close to him actually does DVB-T. So that's probably a resource I can talk to for digital, that Australian guy. Yeah, it's not all I can think of for right now. Maybe more later if I can remember to write stuff down when they pop into my head. So this is Bert in Marysville, N7CS, back to that.
N7CS, and I see NASCAR is listed where the races are going to be held next year. So we'll have to go to Richard, K7ITX, and find out what's on the schedule.
Let's see. As far as the vintage car circuit is in Seattle this weekend, or I should say Auburn or Kent, right
right at Highway 18 exit, the Pacific Raceway. And see, I'm looking at the calendar. That would be the 25th and 26th coming up. So that should be a lot of fun. However, I'm not sure which car we're going to bring out. We have a choice between the 1969 Datsun 510 or the 1987 Porsche 944. And generally speaking, we'd automatically for vintage bring out the Datsun. However, the very, very next week, on October 1st and 2nd, the Datsun has a race in Sonoma, California, and it's a different gear ratio, evidently, for the rear end, and so the idea that they have just 2 or 3 days to switch the rear end out leads them to think that, maybe they'll bring the Porsche instead. So, of course, that's not my call. I just had to go along for the ride. But I'm not going to travel. I'm done traveling for car racing for the season. But I'll be following them on the internet and the various means that we have to follow the events. And then, just for the fun of it, you might have heard me talking 2 or 3 months ago. I was really getting into fantasy baseball and had this pitch battle with my sister. She beat me every time we played. I think we played 3 times, which is a week. And she'd come out at the top at the end of Sunday each week. The contest ends on Sunday. Well, now we're in the playoffs, and I beat let's see, who did I beat? I played my sister-in-law, beat her. Well, now I'm in the pitch battle for the semifinals with my sister right now. And the last time I checked, I was 80 points ahead, and that's just Monday, Tuesday, that's after Wednesday, hopefully I scored some more points since then, but 80 points ahead, where 600 points is just about a guaranteed win, making me feel pretty good. So she may have beat me every time during the regular season, but if I can take her in the playoffs, then it's on to the finals next week. With that, KD7ZYM, K7ATS, back to net control.
K7ATS, Richard, thanks for that. Let's get a wave. W7ITL.
W7ITL, let's see if we get over to RS, and see what I'm on there, and let's switch over to my pictures. So I think I've got it figured out, so let's play around with this. So this is me doing the bucket brigade, which is very taxing on the body, I tell you. It's like, that thing weighs about 60, 70 pounds, and I had to carry up and down a hill, zigzagging it. So, and then this is me going over the rope on wall, and then this is like kind of a climbing gym kind of thing where you have to kind of find your footing and try to walk across it without hitting the ground with your foot. It looks easier than it actually is. So then there's the bell at the end there where you ring it once you get over to the bell. And then let's see if I can find some more. That's me at the finish there, me and the guys from my work and my guy from work, his friend, there in the center. They're both named Scott, coincidentally. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun. And let's see, that's me doing the barbed wire again. And that's pretty much going to try to find, this is me taking pictures of the course after
after we left, but it's really hard to see on the RF. So I think we'll call that a day, and we'll see you on the next round, W7ITL.
W7ITL, and again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else that wishes to join the net at this time? Hearing none, we'll go to WU7M, James.
Thank you, Dave. Looks like we still got a couple of pictures coming through. Thank you very much, Wade, for showing us those. 70 pounds, that does sound like something you do when you're younger, doesn't it? But anyway, thank you very much for sharing the videos. The question I have for the group is, I'm not ready to do a software upgrade on the radio that I just acquired, and I don't know anybody that uses C4FM. That's a digital quadrature kind of FM. It's pretty common for a lot of Yaesu radios. I think ICOM uses that too. There's a 12.5 kilohertz flavor, and then there's a full bandwidth. I think it's 25 kilohertz flavor. And so if anybody else has that capability for C4FM, I'm interested in doing a simplex test with you after I do this upgrade, because it would be easy to see if I break the radio just to see if it would use, ordinary FM. After the upgrade, that would be pretty easy to figure out. But it would be harder to figure out if after I do the upgrade, is it doing C4FM or not, because I don't have another radio like this, so I can't do the old, set the iPhone up in record mode on one radio and run to the other side of the house. So if anybody has C4FM, let me know. Other than that, yeah, the 2 inches of rain coming in this weekend, this will be the ultimate test of Jim's plumbing project in the back. Because up till now, I just have little drizzles, and I go out and look, and there's no big puddles of water that there shouldn't be, and I'm going, okay, it's all still holding up. But I've got just a couple more things to do, and then this is going to be the big test this weekend to see if the house washes away, or if it all holds up. So maybe I should get some videos here. That might be entertaining, depending on how it goes. If it works, that would be boring, but if it doesn't, hey, might as well show the humor. So this is James, WU7N, asking if everybody's got C4FM. Take it away, Dave.
WU7N, well, I'd say, for your sake, take some before and after pictures in case the landslide happens. You'll be able to document it for insurance purposes. Oh, my. Things would go bump in the middle of the night, it seems like. And from here, let's go to Ron, KD7QKU, and see how he comes through. And he's got a tale to tell about his downspout.
Okay, this is KD7QKU. Can you guys hear me?
Static there.
Is it working at all? Can you hear me at all?
The audio is really low, and the squelch is kind of going in and out.
Possibility you could open up your Zoom mic, and maybe Richard could utilize the radio to get it up on the 08 machine. Ron, you need to open your mic on Zoom so we'll be able to hear you. We got you now. Richard's able to relay it.
Try that one.
Yeah. Boy, we're getting an echo and reverb from you, Ron. I don't know what's going on. You have bewitched the audio channels tonight.
Yeah. A lot of echo-ness. Do you have more than one microphone open?
Oh, Ron might have a tendency to turn your FM radio off, the 08 machine off, and we'll see what we can hear.
You turned it off? How's that? Okay, now can I hear you guys? Well, yeah, you don't hear us later. I mean, as you don't even hear us right now. Okay, you can hear me? Yeah. Okay. So we had an exciting day today. We sold our house. Wow! So, Wednesday, the real estate, Josh said he would call me and review the offers. So he said the only offers that were worth reviewing were the three good ones. And he said that we had three really good offers. And he said that they were above the asking price, and that he thought we ought to kind of roll the dice and see if we could get them up the ante, because they were all about the same. I said, yep. I said, I'm all for that. I like to gamble. So he said, okay. So we rolled the dice. Holy smokes. The day up the ante. It was amazing. And one of them was a cash offer. One of them exceeded the other offers by about $60,000, if you can imagine that. I mean, they were already offering much more than we ever expected. But they had to do some financing. And they offered to put up $150,000, earnest money, and non-refundable. So if their deal didn't go through, I got to keep the $150,000. Yeah. But I decided to leave some money on the table and take the cash offer, because we could have that money by September 30th and the deal will be all over and done. I guess we're not that greedy. I mean, and it already exceeded our expectations. And Josh was surprised. It's just amazing. It's just amazing to think that we bought this house. We paid $19,000 for it, 1971, and these people, they're developers, and they're going to bulldoze it down and build them on the lot. But it's just absolutely, it just blows you away. I mean, money, I guess, means nothing to them. I mean, $25,000, $50,000 means nothing to them. I mean, they went up their end. It's just amazing. But anyway, that's my story for now, and I'll talk about gutters next time around. So thanks to whoever's catching me in. Katie, thanks for KU.
I'm going to put you back in Bitcoin, but let's go to Jessica, KSN and UHK.
Be the first to congratulate you on that one. That's really cool. That's really, really neat. Eventually we're going to sell our condo here, and we're going to come out with so much more than we spent on it, and so that's cool. Let's see. Wade, have you ever thought of doing the American Ninja Warriors thing? Because if you're doing that stuff and running around in the mud and underneath, barbed wire, might as well do the American Ninja Warrior. I watched that on TV, and that's pretty entertaining. My TRS-80, yeah, no, I got that. The TRS-80 home. It came out of the box almost like it was new, except for some of the foam rubber around the thing was looking like it's starting to deteriorate because it's been sitting in the garage for so long. and the cassette player that came along with it doesn't run right now. But I think that little belt inside, that little teeny belt inside, is probably deteriorated also because it was sitting in the garage for a long time. But otherwise, everything looks really great. The power supply is at 16K. The 16K has the 16K upgrade, so it's like they call it level 2. The power supply gets really, really hot. It has 2 different transformers inside the little wall-work thing that plugs in, and it gets really warm. I mean, it gets warm to the touch, and so I wonder how much current that thing's actually drawing. Maybe also because it's sat in the garage for a long, long time. And the last thing I got here is I also got these 4 Electro Voice speakers that came along in this package. These 4 nice, several feet tall speakers with the big 12-inch woofers and the tweeters and the mid-range in there. But all the speakers on the big 12-inch speakers all need to be replaced because the rubber around the edges have all deteriorated because once again, sitting in the garage somewhere for probably 30 years. So, but the computer works good. It's it's a rough keyboard to type on because it doesn't, you don't have any editing like we normally have on keyboards, and you have no mouse on it. So it's a real rough keyboard to type on. I'm telling you, it's like pulling out an old-fashioned telephone to type on. But it's still entertaining, and I'm going to do something with it. So I'm going to pass it back to Jessica KS7UHK.
KS7UHK, let's go on to Bert, M7CS.
Okay, well, Jessica, thanks for giving us the update on the TRS-80. I was kind of curious about this. And then Ron, congratulations on selling the house. That's amazing. I thought maybe the reason you were getting such a high asking price was because of the piano you were giving away with it. But then when you said it was a developer that was going to bulldoze the house, and then it's like, well, now what's going to happen to the piano? We're going to bulldoze that too, I guess. But I was wondering, I guess if I happened so fast, maybe you didn't do this, but I was wondering if you got any of these so-called love letters from the people that made the offers, even where I hear people that make the offers send a letter saying why they deserve the house because they want to raise their family in it or blah, 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 blah. Because my niece in Texas recently sold her house, and she got some of those, and she sold it to somebody that sent her one of these love letters saying that they needed it for their starter house for their new family. And it turns out they were just a developer too or something, and they were going to rent it. And they even they put the house back for sale. I guess not a developer, but whatever you call the people that rent the houses. They put the house back for rent like the day after it went through, and they used the same pictures that she had taken to sell the house. And she got really upset because she was going to sell it for more to somebody else, but she really was invested in wanting this family to have this nice house, and it was all a lie. But and what else would say C4FM, James, if I ever open the box with that radio in it, I'll have one. I just haven't opened the box yet. I don't know how good our line of sight is between ourselves though, but if I ever open the box, I'll let you know so we can try it out. Anyway, this is Bert and Marysville, M7CS, back to net.
M7CS, let's go on to Richard. K7ITX, and again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM for ID. So Richard, take it away, K7ITX.
Okay, well, I wish everyone could mute themselves. It would be better, and then Ron will unmute himself when he wants to talk. There we go, right, because when I'm hooked up HDMI, I lose absolute control with the volume configuration on the laptop, so I'm just at your mercy, basically. So that's fine. I could have worse problems. So anyway, yeah, Ron, that's just incredible. Geez, I mentioned the house, like our house that sold for they were asking $699,000, and they ended up selling it for $750,000. Well, that sounds like chump change as far as you're concerned. I have a feeling you're way up into the seven figures for sure, so that's really exciting. Oh my God. I'm just looking forward to the trip you're going to take us all on. That's going to be pretty exciting. I vote for Tahiti myself, so anyway. Jessica agrees with that. So, the latency, I think it might be catching up a little bit. Let's see, maybe a tad, but, something has happened to YouTube, as you had talked about earlier, Bert, and it'd be nice to see if that, maybe there's a setting that got switched or whatever. So anyway, because it just makes it hard to, for those of us on Grand Stream, and then cannot see what we're showing. But I guess that's okay. I don't have to see what I'm showing. I mean, golly, in fact, I could go back to the old days and just monitor everything on VLC. I've got probably the ability to see both Wade and Bert VLC, so nothing wrong with that. Golly, what's coming up? Well, now I'm doing fantasy football, and so Tom Brady did pretty good as my quarterback, so I'm going to stick with him. Sorry about that, guys. Just meandering along, so I guess I was afraid I wasn't saying enough, but that's crazy. So anyway, 8:47, it's down to the bewitching hour. I see 70 degrees and sunny tomorrow, Dave, so no rain tomorrow. So, but this weekend, should be pretty miserable for Debbie down at the boat show. So I feel sorry for that. But it's her choice, and she likes doing it, and she gets some coinage out of it. With that, Katie says, AYM, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's go to Wade, W7ITL.
W7ITL. Hey, so go ahead and start off with answering the question about CF4M, James? My radio can do that. I have an FT991 Alpha. It's a Yaesu, and that's definitely one of the modes that it supports. So, what is going on with my video? It is really washed out. Anyhow, don't worry about that. I think I'll just kind of cut it short there, and then after that we can talk more about C4M. Alright, this is W7. And congrats, I wanted to say congrats to Ron. That's so awesome. Well, I'm sure he made a killing there. And, do something good with that. So, this is W7ITL back to net.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Let's go on to James, WU7F.
Yeah, let me say congrats to Ron. I'm glad that that came through. Hope it closes okay. I'm sure it will. Since people are pretty used to doing business life after COVID here. So anyway, thank you very much, Wade. I'll go ahead and do the upgrade, and maybe I can go to a high hill around here to get a shot into Tacoma. But I'll send you an email to remind you, but I don't know if I have a lab on for your location or not to know if we can go up the valley or not from where I'm at. But that's one thing about UHF, doesn't matter what it is, you pretty much have to have line of sight or it's not going to work. So I'll send you an email to remind you about that. And
Richard, so you're calling it a wrap for the season on the race car traveling. Your timing's probably good on that. My sister, I got a report from her. She did a plane trip to Chicago and back again and said it was fairly uneventful. But there's a thing that, she's a medical person. It was a medical conference, and she's amazed that they went ahead and did it. But the interesting thing is if you're going into Chicago, O'Hare, and I forget what the if, ands, and buts are on this, but something about vaccinated, non-vaccinated, whatever, you're supposed to quarantine for a week. How does that work for a 1.5-day conference? So there's all kinds of, I call it kabuki theater health management, where they come out with these edicts and proclamations, but then nobody is apparently enforcing anything because it's unenforceable and they couldn't do anything anyway with it. So anyway, probably good timing there to see what things look like in January. So with that, I will turn it back over to our net control, Dave. This is James, WW7ATS. My goodness, it must be windy up there at the site, because I don't know, well, you mentioned you washed out. I'm getting all kinds of washouts and comings and goings with the signal, so I assume the wind's really blowing around up there. This is WW7ATS. Take it away, Dave.
WW7N and ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, going back to Richard with his fantasy baseball and football, we'll have to find out what his teams are called so we can go wager at the local casino, and we'll come out as thousandaires betting on his teams. But outside of that, I haven't got anything else to add. The evening is moving on. Let's go back up to Ron and see if we can make contact with him. KD7 QKU.
Okay, this is KD7 QKU. How am I doing? Well, I'm kind of getting thumbs up from everybody, so we'll see how long it lasts. So the big event today was we had 0.08 of an inch rain, and two things happened. This morning, early, I got up at 6 o'clock, and the cat gets up with me, and she kind of always wants to go outside. But decided, we had the gate. They came and fixed our fence this week, so all the chain link fence is done. So I decided, well, this morning I'd open the door and I'd let her out on this little patio deck there. Well, she went out there, and instantly she dashed down the steps and went out in the backyard. Well, I thought it was okay, so I watched her. She went, the house is cantilevered back, so she ducked underneath there, and then she went out around the storage shed, and she went over by the boats and everything, didn't come back for a while. And then really, the fence is tight. I didn't think she could get out unless she climbed over. She's kind of old. She doesn't do that much anymore. So I went out there, and sure enough, she was there, and I listened at her, and she came. And she headed back towards the house. No, it's almost dark out. It's about 6:30. She'd been out about 30 minutes, and so then I thought she'd go up the steps and go back in the house. No, she ducked underneath the patio. It's off the ground about 2 feet. This little deck there. So I said, "Foodie on you. I'm going to go make my coffee and get on with my morning." So next thing I knew, she was in the house eating. So she's been out 2 or 3 times now, kind of did them around the neighborhood. But getting back to the downspout, so about 10 minutes to 8, it started pouring down radio. And so I kind of looked outside, and the downspout by the garage in front, it goes into the corrugated black plastic pipe. The pipe wasn't taking the water, and it was gushing out on all over the area there, and that's not good. It drains about half of the front of the house. The house is kind of U-shaped. And I don't want the water, doing that all winter, maybe sitting underneath the house. So later on in the morning, I pulled it apart. Well, it was full of roots and dirt. And so I dug it and vacuumed and dug and vacuumed until I couldn't reach any farther. And then I decided I'd call a plumber. So I have a plumber coming over tomorrow to see if he can get it open. But I don't know. It's going to be a problem if we can't. Go back to that, 87.
QKU. Let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK.
Just don't tell the plumber how much you made on that last house deal. You just, you know, the rates may increase just a bit. Tahiti. Yeah, I've never been to Tahiti, but the last time we went to Hawaii, we were on Maui. We went to a really great luau at this place called the Old Lahaina Luau, I think is what it's called. And it was really pretty neat. Near the end of this luau show where they're dancing and doing these things, they bring out some winners of last year's dance contest. And they said that every year these dancers go get on an airplane and fly 6 or 7 hours to Tahiti so they can compete down at Tahiti. And it's like, wow, that's how exotic is that, going from Hawaii to Tahiti. Oh, we live in Hawaii, but we're going to go to Tahiti. Wow, that's just like cool, just to go compete. So we thought that was kind of neat. That love letter thing, wow, that was a story and a half too. That'd make me so mad. I don't know where Bert went, but there he is. But that would just really hack me off if that love letter, you know, tricked me into doing something I didn't really want to do as much as that. And do I have something else here? I think, boat show. Boat show. When we had our sailboat, we'd go to boat shows, and it was always fun that after you bought a boat, people kind of start knowing you because you have a big boat, apparently. And it was always fun to run into people. It's like, oh, hey, Jessica, Sylvia, how's that hunter of yours? You know, so that was always really neat. Boat shows are fun to look at boats. I'd rather just go look at boats than buy a boat because they're so fun to look at and kind of dream about. But once you have one, it's like, well, now the nightmare happens. It is 56 minutes after the hour. I'm going to say 73. This is Jessica, KS7UHK.
KS7UHK, yes. When it comes to boats, size does matter. As far as the pecking order goes with the boating community. Let's go on to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, well, let's see. The only other thing on my list to talk about was one thing I've noticed lately is, so there was a short period of time, like a couple of weeks, about a month ago, where all the various fast food restaurants near my house started to open their dining rooms again. They're all closed again, mostly, and also even the drive-thrus, the hours are starting to be a lot more restricted now. So I used to be able to go get breakfast every morning at 6 a.m. at either McDonald's or Burger King. At least go through the drive-thru if the dining room was closed. But now it looks like they're not opening until like 7 or later. I asked them what was going on. They said, well, once school started up again, all the kids went back to school, and there's not enough adults that want to work, so they're having to greatly reduce the hours at all these places. But anyway, that's my latest report of what's happening on the ground. Anyway, 73 to all. This is Bert in Marysville, N7CS. Back to that.
N7CS, thanks for that. I think we have time for Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, yeah, thanks for that story on the fast food and the changing of the hours. Now, that explains a couple things that I didn't quite understand. I've traveled to Portland twice with the racing team, and with my first trip down to Portland, I had trouble finding a place to eat in the morning. I like going to Elmer's. That's kind of a signature franchise. Well, not even, no, it's just a chain. Elmer owns a mall down around the Portland area. There's at least 6 or 7 of them, including Vancouver. But they were all opening at 7 in the morning, and when we have to be on the track at 9, and I've got a lot of chores to do before we're on the track. 7 o'clock breakfast at Elmer's just wasn't cutting it. And so now I know why, and I'm sure it's just lack of people to run the place. But I finally did in Vancouver find, not an Elmer's, but a IHOP. Good old IHOP was open at 6, and that worked just perfect. So my last Portland trip had me at IHOP, so what the heck. Well, so I guess I'm just going to have to say 73. I could talk all night, and I know you wouldn't enjoy that. So I see we're just about at the bewitching hour. So everyone have a good night, and thanks for showing up. It was just a lot of fun. 73, KD7ZYM, K7ITX. Good night, and back to net control.
K7ITX, and this is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, net on the 08 machine. And we'd like to thank the owners and operators of the 08 machine, the CTAC Repeater Group, for allowing us to utilize the 08 machine for our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, signing off the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.